All right, let's take a look at futures this morning. Markets finished out 2023 strong. The Dow's best year since 2021. But this morning, we've got the rally resuming. Dow Industrials up 43, the NASDAQ up 100, the S&P higher by 14. Joining me right now after the Dow finished the best year since 2021 and the NASDAQ had its best year since 2020 last year. Joining me right now to talk more about investing today is the chairman, CEO, and the founder of the PagsGroup and the Boston Celtics co-owner. Steve Pagliuca is here. Steve, great to see you.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Yeah, good to catch up with you again. I know you've got your family office, you've got your business in terms of the sports franchises. As we kick off this new year, how do you see the investment climate?
You know, I see it as reasonably positive. We're seeing a revolution in AI, biotech, especially in the United States. The United States is a little more protected. We don't have anybody attacking our borders. We have energy self-sufficiency. So I see more positive than negative. The big issues out there are really how far does this decoupling with China go? Does that affect the global economy? The exogenous factors of the wars in the Middle East, the war in the Ukraine, does that spread and kind of stop the global progress? So those are ones that, they're wild cards for sure.
So I know you've allocated capital to the AI area. I want to talk about that. And then you've also been a long-time supporter and fan and investor in biotech.
Yes.
Tell us how you're allocating capital today.
Well, I've been involved in a couple of fantastic projects. One is called Arena Bioworks, and that's bringing together top scientists in America into an institute, not unlike Bell Labs. And that institute is going to cut away all the red tape. Right now in universities, people are spending 50% of their time just on compliance papers because of government funding. They spend 10% of their time on negotiating patents, another 10% raising money. We're going to bring the scientists together, supply them in an institute with a budget of 50 or 60 million a year to try to put out life-saving drugs in a faster, more efficient way. We learned a lot about this during COVID, projects like Warp Speed, how to cut through the red tape. And so I'm very excited about that. I'm going to become the executive chairman of this group, Arena Bioworks, and we have assembled just a dream team of scientists to do great stuff.
How long does it take in terms of the burn rate? I mean, that's one of the issues for biotech, right? They burn through cash real quick.
Well, we have long-term funding for basic research. People like Michael Dell, Jim Breyer, Michael Chambers. We're backing this for the long term, and they'll have a budget. They don't have to raise money, and they'll do that basic research, and then when the companies are ready to be spun out, there'll be outside capital coming in from venture capital firms and even some of the current investors. So we're very excited about it. It's a new revolutionary model. It's going to free them up to spend all their time just inventing great biotech drugs to hopefully cure cancer and make the world a better place and good returns for investors as well. So it's a win-win situation.
Well, look, we're all rooting for you on that. That's for sure.
I'm very excited about it.
What about AI? That is the dominant theme here in Davos.
Yeah,
I mean, every panel is talking about artificial intelligence.
Yeah, you can't walk anywhere without seeing AI. I think it's AI eats the world here. I'm very excited about AI. In fact, the PagsGroup has backed a company called Liquid AI, which is solving some of the interesting problems with AI right now. It costs over $400 million for the large language model of ChatGPT, for example, to go out and read everything and put it brute force into the model. They have a new methodology called Liquid AI that really simplifies the amount of neural networks and nodes. It operates more like the human brain. They studied a worm's brain, believe it or not.
Wow.
And then they've come up with a new AI, way of doing AI to reduce that cost probably by 80%. And that means people will be able to do their own AI systems and have their own large language models on a vertical basis. And I'm very excited about that breakthrough.
All of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but data is the new oil. Data seems to be the, quantifiable issue.
Data combined with AI is going to really reduce costs of everything, and that's why you see it here in Davos. We're still in, I would call, the experimentation stage because people are concerned about, A, the cost of building those models, B, when you put it on a public cloud, is somebody else is going to have your data. So companies like Liquid AI and other companies are trying to reduce that cost, increase the privacy. And CEOs now are just exploring, okay, where and how do I put AI into my company to take advantage of that? And the ones that do it right, those are the companies that are going to win.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about your other major investments and the value of owning sports franchises. You have both the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta football club. I want to ask you about the future of sports ownership and how has this played out for you? Is this just fun? Is this a hobby, or is this actually valuations that go up?
Well, yeah, it's a combination of the two. We originally got into it because we had a great love for the Boston Celtics, and Rick Grossbeck asked me to partner with him to help buy the team and turn it around, and we won a championship, and hopefully we're contending this year. So it was a labor of love. It wasn't really, the investors weren't looking for great returns. But what's happened is, as the television market's fragmented, the only thing that people watch in mass are sports. Yeah. I think
especially live.
10 of the top 10 programming events of last year were sports events. So the NBA Finals, the Super Bowl, the World Series. So all these networks and the streaming services want sports. So the revenues have risen dramatically. Sports is a refuge for people, and it's the only thing that people want to watch live to aggregate those eyeballs. So I think it's going to still go up and up, and so it's been both. It's been a fantastic investment, but it's been a wonderful experience.
And the streamers are now adding advertising to it, right? People will pay up to advertise alongside live sports.
Great point.
Like live news.
Great point, Maria. But we've seen in the last 30 years I've been doing media, you see bundling, unbundling, bundling, unbundling. We were in a massive unbundling stage where streamers were taking share, and you're having 5 different streaming services that are going on, Netflix and Paramount Plus and Peacock. Now you're seeing potentials of merger activity to bring them back together, because the consumer can only spend a certain amount, per month, and so you can't buy 10 streaming services plus cable plus everything else.
That's a very good point. I wonder, we'll see consolidation.
I think we're going to see consolidation. It's kind of going to go back to the future
within streaming.
Within streaming, because I don't think you can support 10 different streaming packages.
It makes sense. Yeah, it's a great point, Steve. All right, plenty of conversation here about election 2024 for the United States. By the way, 50%? I think that there are many, many more elections in addition to the United States that we should talk about as well. But Trump, of course, cruised to victory in the Iowa caucuses. Some Biden supporters voicing concerns about President Biden's poor polling. Do you believe this will be a rematch of Trump and Biden?
All indications are that that's going to be the case. I step back, and the last 5 to 6 years we've seen a global trend of polarization, people going to the extremes. Part of that has been countries have gone through that forever, but we're in this, I think, extreme polarization stage. It's exacerbated by the fact that social media and the way politics works now, to get attractions, you have to kind of go out to the way out to the right and way out to the left. I'm hoping. Poland's a good example. They're kind of coming back to the center. I'm hoping that we've had enough of that, and we're going to come back to the center and try to work together to really advance America, improve education, improve the situation in the country. I don't think it's the right way to do it from extreme right or extreme left. Yeah,
that's a great point. So you've been supportive of Democrat policies. Do you, as a Democrat, want to see Joe Biden as the candidate?
I think it's a tough one. The polls say that Joe Biden doesn't poll very well against Trump. So if the Democrats were looking strategically at this, you probably would go with a new face. But unfortunately, the way the parties work, it seems like you have to just fall in line with what's happening, which is unfortunate.
Is there a favorite for you aside from Biden?
I try to stay out of politics and just focus on building great businesses and
that's exactly what you're doing.
My pitch is that business has to work with academia and government in a cooperative way, and I don't really care if Republican or Democrat, but we all should be having the same goal, and that's what I stand for.
Steve, thank you for taking all of that on. Great conversation.
Appreciate it.
We so appreciate you. Steve Pagliuca joining us.